Alright, now hear me out for a second. Welcome back to another My Hero Academia anime vs manga comparison video breaking down season 6 episode 4 titled Inheritance, which happens to be the same title as chapter 270. We will be going over all of the changes made from the manga to anime adaptation, and of course, if you are new to the channel, then be sure to subscribe with notifications on so that you don't miss a video, and if you want to further support the channel, then please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button. To start things off, the episode begins with an anime only scene of Hawks soaring through the sky and Tokoyami giving a breakdown on Hawks' quirk. We even get a new still frame of Hawks in battle. For some detail removed, during Hawks and Tokoyami's conversation about his weakness, the anime removes Hawks' fans freaking out from below. As Fat Gum is explaining to the UA students the plan to now close in and surround the villains, the anime doesn't adapt the panel showing an overview shot of the current battle and instead replaces it with a visual of what the plan will look like. The anime also removes the detail of Mount Lady taking hits in the background before Dabi's flames burst out of the window, as well as her getting frustrated after Dabi's flames burst out of the window. The anime also removes Kaminari and Komori's dialogue on how good it feels inside of Fat Gum's stomach. After the opening, we are shown a new shot of Toga's handkerchief, as well as Dabi's hand getting ready to turn Hawks into some fried chicken. The anime also doesn't adapt the panel showing Hawks in the middle of fully impaling Twice's back. For some more changes in detail, Hawks doesn't jump out of Dabi's flames like he does in the manga. Instead, he just stumbles out of them. And Dabi also no longer has smoke coming out of the sides of his eyes. This to me is the more interesting change, as the smoke coming through his hair exactly where his eyes are at always felt like Dabi would have actually had tears here if his tear glands weren't burned. After this, we get a new shot of Dabi looking down at Hawks, when Hawks has a flashback to him getting recruited by the Safety Commission for an exclusive program. The anime doesn't adapt the panel showing the Safety Commission's building. Kid Hawks is also shown to be wearing a sweater instead of a t-shirt like in the manga. At long last, we get Dabi's true identity revealed to us, sort of, as when Hawks asks Dabi who he is, the anime shows Dabi's lips outright doxing himself, even though the viewers can't hear exactly what Dabi says his name actually is. It's a neat change compared to the blacked out speech bubble that we got in the manga, but I also feel like you can make out what Dabi says here, especially if you know what his name actually is. All I'm going to say is that the lip movement fits. But that isn't the only thing changed from this reveal, as after Dabi tells Hawks his name, the anime doesn't adapt Dabi tucking something in his collar, which is an odd change as this little tuck does play a significant role later. The anime then removes shots of the battle going on outside, which is replaced with a shot of Shigaraki, the shot of the city, and the first close-up of Hawks' eye that is replaced with Dabi's foot pinning Hawks to the ground. The anime also adds Hawks remembering Stain, as well as showing us Dabi going for a finishing blow before cutting away to Makia, where the PLF members are given some added dialogue. After the title card, the police HQ makes another appearance in the anime to provide that recap of where everyone is currently at in the war. Heading to Jakku Hospital, the scene showing Endeavor running down the hall is censored, as once again the carnage left behind by Mirko and now Crust is no longer there. The anime also doesn't show Endeavor discovering the hall like how he does in the manga. Xless and Crust get some added dialogue as well. The scene showing Endeavor hitting Chubbs with a jet burn is honestly a really cool anime only scene. Switching over to the rabbit goddess herself, Mirko, the anime blesses us with an extension of Mirko fighting the Hyens. Not only did they give us some new shots of her fighting the Hyens, but it was all animated amazingly. Big props to Bones for really coming through for the Mirko scenes, and of course the rest of the episode. For another change in detail, when Mirko finally catches up to Garaki, the gag of his tears breaking the lens of his goggles is removed. After the intermission, we see a continuation of the anime only scene showing Endeavor using jet burn on Chubbs. Here, before Chubbs is thrown back into the lab, Chubbs is given an extra line of dialogue. When Aizawa tells endeavor to finish off Ribi, the anime removes the little visual of Aizawa explaining the lag that he had when trying to use Eraser on all of the high-end Nomus. As Woman is examining each and every hero to figure out who is nullifying her quirks, the anime extends the visual of her brain working, fully waking up, and we even get a dope shot of her smiling inside. This definitely is a welcome addition, as it shows how these high-ends through battle are beginning to get a lot smarter, which adds this extra layer of fear to it. And holy crap did Bones go in by adding in Woman dodging almost all of Xless's lasers. But like I was saying earlier, just hear me out, she a little thick. Moving on, when Woman uses her liquefaction plus rupture move against the heroes, she doesn't say what her attack is or the fact that she combos two different quirks to pull off the move. The anime also does some light censoring by removing the little blood that was shown during Woman's attack. When Mirko is thrown at Endeavor, the anime doesn't adapt the last page of chapter 268 where Mirko tells them to finish off Shigaraki, which is a little bit of a letdown since I thought the panel showing Aizawa and Present Mike standing there in a pose was really cool. But I was still fine with this change since she pretty much repeats herself in the next chapter anyways, which is what the anime went for. Endeavor also doesn't state that it's only been 5 minutes since Mirko first contacted them from the lab. Xless gets an added shot of him shooting a laser at Ribi, but the panels showing Elef and Chubbs taking their hits are removed. Aizawa also gets an added shot of him grabbing Ribi's arm. When Aizawa is thinking to himself, the anime here removes and adds a bunch of stuff. For starters, the anime doesn't adapt these amazing panels showing Aizawa going into a Spider-Man-esque pose, dodging and fighting Ribi, and this to me is somewhat of a disappointing change because the anime just has him standing there while Ribi is doing nothing to try and break out of Aizawa's grasp like he does in the manga. Aizawa just looked a lot more competent in the manga, with him being able to break down the situation while still being able to fight against such a powerful opponent. The panel showing the damaged tanks is also removed and replaced with a shot of Woman. For some more additions, we get a shot of Crust holding back Elef, Chubbs also being held back as well, and another shot of Aizawa. This panel of Mike and Xless running is also removed. For more changes in detail, Garaki activating Shigaraki's tank is a lot less goofy looking compared to the manga, and Present Mike's loud voice move isn't announced. Also, I'm just going to say it, Bones killed it with the animation here. Everything from the destruction to Shigaraki falling out of the tank looked godly. It honestly looked like they had movie budget for this scene and just this episode alone. In Present Mike's mini flashback to before the war, the shot of Shirakumo, Mike, and Aizawa at UA is completely different from the manga, which is crazy because in the manga we actually get to see a young Aizawa smiling. Even Shirakumo's line of dialogue is removed as well. After Present Mike hits Garaki with his DJ punch, the anime adds Garaki being flown back a few feet. Switching over to Tartarus, the panel showing Tartarus is removed. Switching back to Present Mike, when Xless spots this machine, the anime doesn't adapt the panels of him stating that he should destroy the machine just to be safe. When Garaki tells Present Mike that he really wanted to get his hands on Eraser instead of Shirakumo, the anime doesn't adapt Mike's terrified looking expression on his face. The panel showing that Shigaraki had made it to 75% completion is also removed. For the final change in the episode, the panel of Xless and Shigaraki before the electricity hits the liquid is removed, and the episode ends with Shigaraki finally opening his eyes. Fun fact, the electricity that shocked the puddle that Shigaraki was laying in is not what brought Shigaraki back to life, it was his hatred that brought him back to life. Now, episode 117 adapts about 4 chapters, them being chapters 267, 268, 269, 270, and 2 panels from chapter 272. This episode was a banger. Everything was animated beautifully, and I can't give Bones enough credit for this episode alone. But we don't talk about how they did black hair Shigaraki dirty. It was honestly cursed to look at. Of course, I do want to acknowledge that there was a lot more stuff not shown in the episode. I just decided not to point them out since they are more than likely going to be adapted in episode 5. Still, I really enjoyed what we got this episode, and it has me super pumped for the episodes videos to come. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the changes made in episode 117. Did you enjoy the animation as much as I did this episode? Let me know everything in the comment section below. With that said, thank you for watching another My Hero Academia anime versus manga comparison video. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to Detroit smash that like button below, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. If you are new to the channel and you want to see more My Hero Academia content, then be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on to join the Kitoroki Hero Academia to become my hero. Doing all of this really does help the channel out a lot, and it's always appreciated. Remember to stay plus ultra, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.